We've been sort of theorizing about how dumb Donald Trump is. And by dumb, I mean just sort of general knowledge. We figured out that after a year of campaigning on health insurance, he might have the entire time actually been thinking that it was life insurance. We speculated he might not have been aware that Puerto Ricans were citizens until someone told him, hey, these are American citizens during the fallout after the multiple hurricanes that hit the Puerto Rican island. Trump's lack of knowledge about what a blind trust is was evident in the lead up to his inauguration. How does the stock market work? How does money work? Is a strong or weak dollar good for us? Something he called Michael Flynn about at 3 a.m. at one point. Why didn't hurricane victims just get away from the storm in their private helicopters? Whatever, right? There's a range of different questions we've speculated as to Donald Trump's knowledge on. Donald Trump claimed over the weekend, while speaking to a hate group, that he met with the president of the Virgin Islands. Of course, there is no such person, or I guess there is. It's Donald Trump himself. The president of the United States is the president of the Virgin Islands, effectively. Here is Donald Trump at this horrible hate group rally. Take a look.
We also stand with the millions of people who have suffered from the massive fires which are right now raging in California and the catastrophic hurricanes along the Gulf Coast in Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. And I will tell you, I left Texas and I left Florida and I left Louisiana and I went to Puerto Rico and I met with the president of the Virgin Islands. These are people that are incredible people. They've suffered gravely.
Some of those people are literally incredible in the sense that they don't exist and we shouldn't believe in them, like this other guy or gal who supposedly is the president of the United States Virgin Islands. Now, how did the Trump administration deal with this bogus and embarrassing statement by Trump? Well, they corrected the transcript so that it would say governor instead of president after the fact. The White House released a transcript where it says, I left Florida and I left Louisiana and I went to Puerto Rico and I met with the president is crossed out. Governor has been inserted of the Virgin Islands. Every single joke about Donald Trump becomes the truth. 2 weeks ago, I joked, Donald Trump should demand the resignation of the president of Puerto Rico over his terrible handling of the recent hurricanes. And now Trump actually says, I met with the president of the U.S. Virgin Islands in the context of hurricane relief. I spoke with myself about disaster relief because I'm doing great things for these poor people or something like that. Here's Donald explaining why he's the guy to go to with any issue we have because he's such a smart guy.
And I was a good student. I understand things. I comprehend very well, okay? Better than, I think, almost anybody. And I want to tell you, I listened to a bunch of stuff last night on television that was disgraceful. It was disgraceful.
He listened to a whole bunch of stuff. Something is very wrong here beyond just being an uninformed dude born with a silver spoon in his mouth, right? Remember when it would have been surprising if the president said something this dumb? The simpler times of, is our children learning, and binders full of women, or what's Aleppo? What is that? What's Aleppo? Those were simpler, quaint times where now we are dealing with a whole new level of incompetence and stupidity from the president of the United States.